cadre, like say we have quinine isolated by the German pharmacist Turner from Syncona back. All of us have a responsibility to ensure that these medicines are utilized well. So, as pharmacists, just as the term pharmacy is from the Greek word pharmakon, which means drug, we are called upon in this ministry of drug molecules to safeguard this molecule at all points. Any of us who gains interest either at the drug discovery process or at the manufacturing to ensure that there is sufficient oversight to ensure good manufacturing practices are followed, quality assurance, overseeing the registration process of these medicines, and ensuring that they are distributed, supplied properly. We have a great duty to ensure that the processes are used well. Madam, welcome you to our CPD, and these members of the Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda are experts in these drug molecules of various kinds. And we want to appreciate your office and the ministry for standing with us, recognizing pharmacy. And as our supervisor, we really would request that you keep that kind of heart, open door for us to ensure that we serve the community better. Critical at the moment is the amendment of our Pharmacy and Drugs Act. There was a cabinet memo to ensure that the Pharmacy and Drugs Act and other health professional regulation laws are amended so that the councils are strengthened to perform the roles they play, and we look forward to your input to ensure that we have this expedited. We are aware the National Drug Policy and Filter Act is being repealed to be replaced by the National Drug and Health Products Authority, and it caters mainly for the product, but there are also aspects of practice that make our profession very difficult to regulate at times. So we request that you expedite that for us. And also the other aspect is the issue of opening up space and allowing this young generation to grow through the ranks of the profession. We have various interests in the way we are pursuing this career. Personally, I'm a pharmacognosist, others are clinical pharmacists, others are industrial pharmacists, and so on. So, but they need to go through. Our public health service structure is so limited that to get a pharmacist at a district hospital, general hospital, is a miracle. And I pray that your office looks into this to support local governments are not advertising, and yet we need the pharmacists in those settings. We request that you look into that as our PS, and know that if the budget that is being spent on medicines is that huge, then you need experts at all levels. As a society, we strongly believe that managing a patient is teamwork, and where there is a medical officer, you need equally a pharmacist, so that they are able to discuss and we ensure the clinical needs of that community are well met. We, in the areas of specialization, many of our colleagues here are specializing. In the hospital setting, would have those who are just into supply chain. That is okay. But there are those who are particularly interested in interacting with the patients on the wards and going through that rank in terms of pharmacy as a clinical pharmacist. And the clinical pharmacist cannot know everything. Even if it's in the hospital, there is a clinical pharmacist going to gain interest in, say, geriatric medicine. Another one is going to gain interest in heart and in cardiac aspects, or oncology aspects, or gynecology aspects. So we pray that you look into this, expedite the revision of our scheme of service so that members can go through the ranks and be able to practice. We strongly believe that it is possible to have a consultant pharmacist in his area of practice. If it is a pediatric pharmacy practice, he's able to go through that rank without mixing up a lot of things. There are colleagues into quality assurance of medicines, and we pray that this structure organizes that kind of setup. We have a roadmap which we believe as a career path for pharmacists, and we will be presenting this to your office. We pray that you look into it and see how best we can grow through as more and more members join. This society has grown over time. We are 2,061 members, and we are adding 188 members this year. We have 7 pharmacy schools at the moment, in contrast to the one pharmacy school which was there in 1988 and 89, Makerere University. So pray that you look into this. We have a database of all our pharmacy students currently in the country who are studying in various settings. And we believe in order, we believe in being organized as a society, we believe in delivering, and we aim for excellence in all that we do. We want to thank you so much for coming, and we wish you all the best in your office, and you have our full support as the Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda. I thank you very much. Allow me to invite the President of the Pharmaceutical Society of Uganda, a council which has 12 members, 4 of which are appointed by the Minister of Health. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Secretary, Dr. Stephen. Our chief guest, the Honorable Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, you're most welcome to PSU and to our annual CPD event. Fellow council members, the VP who is chairing this event, the Secretary and Treasurer, whom we vote for every year at the annual general meeting. We have it tomorrow, you are all aware. Council members who are currently serving in the council, we have Dr. Martin Oteba here. Maybe you can raise your hand just in case the face is unfamiliar, but I'm sure for Dr. Oteba, who retired recently as a commissioner, the Minister of Health must be very well known to the PS. We have Dr. Martin Seguya, Dr. Seguya Simon Peter, who is the pharmacist at Arua Regional Referral Hospital. Any other council members who are present with us that I may not have seen yet? This event is blended, so we have the physical event here as well as the online event. So many of the members may have decided to attend virtually, but we recognize all council members. I would like to recognize some of the outgoing, rather former presidents and council members of PSU. These are council members that are statutorily mandated to run the affairs of the society, which is under the Ministry of Health, the ministry that you steer as a permanent secretary. So we have Dr. Hussein Oria, who served this council as president between I think 2012 and 2016, and Dr. Pamela Achi, who is the immediate past president of PSU. She sent her apologies for this event, but she's attending online, and and should be here tomorrow for the AGM. And then we have Professor Wang Patrick, who also has not yet come, but will be part of us tomorrow. We have vice presidents and council members who have served in the previous councils and recognize them a lot because it is on their shoulders to be able to steer this society forward. So our chief guest would like to appreciate you very much for the great work you're doing at the Ministry of Health has become very efficient, especially in the way we manage outbreaks. Outbreaks are natural, they are no one's fault, and they will always happen, especially for us who are in this geography of the world, in these tropics where diseases tend to flourish because the conditions are very, very conducive. It is warm, it is wet, it is moist, and the weather is just beautiful. So outbreaks occur. But our ministry, I think, in the region, I don't think there's any ministry that is more efficient than the Ministry of Health that our permanent secretary, who is the guest of honor today, is steering. So we really appreciate you, Dr. Atwini. In the same vein, we appreciate you and your team for the enabling policies that you have enacted over the past few years. We have policies, especially on things like AMR, on things like malaria control, TB control, HIV management, and many other policies that are tailored to some of the most pressing challenges we have in the country. If you look at the top 10 causes of death in the country, almost each of them has a proper guiding document, and it is the ministry through the good leadership of our permanent secretary that really does all that. So we really thank you on that front as well. The PSU developed a strategic plan that we'll be sharing with you today. This strategic plan sets our strategic direction for the next 5 years. And in this, we are looking at things like workforce, things like pharmaceutical workforce. The Secretary has already mentioned that although we have had major gains in the workforce, I think the current establishment under public service government entities that employ pharmacists is around 65%. If you look at our strategic plan data that we share, it's published, it's on our website, and we have a few physical copies, I think, with us here, the Secretariat, and we share it with the ministry through the permanent secretary. It's about 65%. Previously, it was much lower, I think around 40%. So we appreciate you for that percentage shift of about 20 to 25% in terms of filling existing positions in the health sector that are supposed to be occupied by pharmacists. So we appreciate you for that. But also, there are still gaps in the sector, as the secretary mentioned. District hospitals do not have pharmacists yet, although the current structure now allows it. I know there's a requirement for engagement with local government, but I know your office is really influential and powerful, and we hope that you'll be able to take our request and see if it is possible that we can begin effecting the provision for a pharmacist at every district hospital. Districts have health center 3s, they have health center 4s, they have health center 2s, they have VHTs as well. All of these actually have medicines. They have medicines that are being utilized, and they need to be properly managed. We're not saying that the management is poor right now, because the data is not immediately available to us. But we know that where there is at least we can have those pharmacists at the district level to oversee the medicines that are within those districts. We also thank you for the internship. Although the Pharmacy and Drugs Act that establishes PSU also gives us some mandate to have internship or to provide for internship for prospective members of PSU. This is a role that has largely been performed by the Ministry of Health. And of course, it's not that we would have preferred to do it ourselves. We are under the Ministry of Health. So when your parents are doing something, we know that they actually have the capacity to do it much better than we could ever do it. So through your stewardship of the Ministry of Health, you have really, really fought very hard to ensure that the backlog of interns that we have had over the past 2 years is actually resolved. As we talk now, all pharmacy interns are posted. There's no one on the waiting list somewhere. All of them are in their internship centers, and we appreciate you for looking for that extra financial resource to be able to post them in the relevant facilities. And as I talk, the ministry is also handling external placements for pharmacists. You know that as pharmacists, we don't just look at one aspect of practice. I know it's very difficult to do internship in all sectors. We know that there are key areas, the clinical aspects in the hospitals, but also want to have a bit of industry. Government wants to industrialize even for the health sector. We want to produce our own medicines so that we can guarantee pharmaceutical security as well as sovereignty in that sector. So we want pharmacists, even as they train as students, as interns, before they register, we want them to have trainings in those places, in addition to the hospital. And the ministry, as we talk, is actually posting interns in industries. It's posting interns in regulatory agencies and major laboratories where pharmacists are supposed to acquire skills that are relevant for their practice. And this is all thanks to the permanent secretary and the team, because the National Internship Committee is now posted. We are still supporting, of course, through our secretary as council. We are supporting, and I'm glad to report that the ministry has done that, and we appreciate you so much. So as I conclude, we, in our strategic plan, which I mentioned, we have set a strategic direction with our vision and mission. But one of the things I would like to highlight to our guest of honor is a commitment that we are making to collaborative practice, to effective stakeholder engagement. We want to work very closely with the Ministry of Health. We really want to work closely with the Ministry of Health to be able to amplify our sector, our health sector, specifically the pharmaceutical sector. Want to see it performing beyond its current state. Work is being done, and a lot of work is happening, but want to see it go an extra level. Want to produce medicines in this country that are quality assured, that are effective, that are efficacious. We want to produce these medicines, and in our strategic plan, we have put a requirement to achieve that. But we won't be able to achieve it. Our members will not be able to achieve it if we are working in isolation from the Ministry of Health. So our dear Chief Guest and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, would like to express our call and request to you that you allow us to work with you, you allow us to present our vision and mission for the next 5 years, you allow us express our work plans, annual work plans to you, and you support us in the fulfillment of the vision that we have set aside to advance the pharmaceutical sector and produce medicines in this country in line with what His Excellency, the President of Uganda, has said we should do. As I conclude, I am president of ESU, but this is not my full-time role, our dear chief guest. I'm a senior lecturer in pharmaceutical chemistry, medicinal chemistry, and pharmaceutical analysis courses at Barra University of Science and Technology, School of Pharmacy. And at the same time, I serve as the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Medicine at MAST, which I'm sure, and I'm aware, is your alma mater. I deputize Professor Ngonzi Joseph. So we sit in neighboring offices in our Faculty of Medicine block, which happens to be actually the pathology building in the Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital facility. That is where my primary work actually is. So I'm honored to have you in this CPD. It is day one of our 2-day annual general meeting events, although the main HM is tomorrow. In this meeting today, we are focusing on career development, professional development, renewing our knowledge, our understanding, but also our commitment. Because we know as much as government gives us the right to self-regulate,
PSU, the entire executive, the past presidents represented here, our guests from Commonwealth, NDA representative here, and all of us who are participating in this, and together with the partners that supported us, especially industries. It gives me great opportunity to come and interact with you. It would have been even better if I had more time to stay here and listen, because what you are discussing, the program, is really aiming at strengthening our medicines management, our practice, and the patient safety. That is really the ultimate goal. So, sitting here through the CPD sessions that you're going to have, I do believe that at the end of the 2 days, there will be critical areas that you will discuss, but not just discuss, but also commit to on seeing the implementation. Some of the things I wanted to talk about have been actually highlighted on. And allow me to start by saying, first of all, we appreciate you. We appreciate the pharmacists of Uganda and what you are doing and what you are contributing to improving service delivery as far as health is concerned. We want to thank you very, very much. The second thing, I just want, because I may forget, it's really, Ministry of Health has open door policy. If you have an issue that you want us to discuss as the sector with you, because you are our, can I use the word children? Yeah, you had already used it, so don't say that, yeah, some people are very big here, they don't want to be called children. But you are our sector. You are a very critical branch of workforce that contributes so much to delivering service to our patients. So we cannot just think that you are just an independent and therefore you are part of us. And therefore, what we are saying here is that you are welcome. Ministry of Health has open door. You are always welcome. If you have things you want us to discuss pertaining improvement of service delivery, we are always welcome. And that one I want to retaliate and reaffirm our commitment that we are dedicated to working with everyone under the sector, collective, to have a collective responsibility to ensure that we deliver services, because we can't do without you. So we have that symbiotic relationship. You need us and we need you. So our doors are always open for you. Let me just make a few comments about some of the things I want to talk about, and I'm glad some of them were touched on. The first one, which is a real big concern for our ministry and the sector and as a country, but not only in Uganda alone, it is the issue of antimicrobial resistance. It is a time bomb. I think the future, it is going to be the biggest weapon. So if we are talking about biological weapons, right now the interest globally, some of those people have been engineering things to attack others. It is one key area that is attracting a lot of attention. And as a country, there must be a dedicated commitment continuously by everyone to see that the effect of antimicrobial resistance does not escalate beyond where we are now. Because even where we are, it is really, really bad. And we still see a lot of misuse, irrational medicine use, access of medicine anywhere, at any one time. With no prescription, people are still going to pharmacies and getting medicines. People are not educated enough to tell them the impact of misuse of some of these antibiotics and the catastrophic results that we can get. And who are responsible? All of us. It's not just the pharmacists, the clinicians, all of us. But because you are always at the forefront when you are giving medicines at all levels, we expect that there are certain barriers that we must place along the way to decelerate. We have done the assessment in our hospitals, these regional or national referral hospitals, and the picture is really, really worrying us. It is really worrying us. We have seen many of our patients losing lives because we have run out completely options for treatment. So, before I leave this issue, what do we want to see? We want to see all of us get to know that this is the time bomb for our country, and all of us need to get up and deal with this thing. Access to medicines. What is it? What is it that we cannot regulate this kind of practice? What is it? What can we do? That is a question I'm posing to you. What can we do to change the status quo? Because this status quo is really taking us downhill. And so I'm leaving it to you really that this time around, in your deliberations to done tomorrow, antimicrobial resistance should not just stop at documentation and scientific presentation. Because you know some people will come here and present the pattern of resistance in regional referral, national referral, blah, 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 blah. And it stops at that as if we are just presenting as just a scientific conference or something like that. It should go beyond presentation of statistics. It should go beyond this and gets into in-depth of changing practice, changing regulation to make sure that we deal with this problem. That is number one. Number two, Uganda is blessed to have so many medicinal plants. Government has gone ahead to enact the law. But this area has not really attracted attention in terms of research, and we have left it with people who never went to school. They have hijacked this area, and they are the ones that are all over the place advertising themselves. They are the ones that are telling us how some of those herbs are treating even fibroids. If you have a fibroid, you take medicine and it disappears, it jumps out. We have left it to people who have not gone to school to set the trend. Of course, African culture, before they used to use herbs, and that knowledge is there. But now we are moving away from just traditional, where we don't have the dosage, we don't have any drug interaction, we don't have any, people just take jerry cans of herbs. And some of them actually have caused serious hepatotoxicity. Because we don't guide, and we have left people who do not know anything to do with modern science, when they are using their traditional way. You boil, you put in things, and now to make it worse, some of them have obtained medicines, Western medicine, and mixed it with the herbs. And then they are saying that if you give, surely if you get a herb and you put in ARVs, if I am on HIV drugs and I take that, I will definitely cause viral suppression. And if I cause viral suppression, I will jump up and be like, oh, you see, this herb is working. But it's not true. So we must really take the lead in documenting, researching, profiling, and guiding even on the market, because other countries, like in China, they have, this industry has spread so much that those herbal medicines are actually constituting a big percentage of the treatment profiles. God has given us everything in Uganda. Every plant you see out there has medicine in it. And we rely on you. We rely on you. We rely on institutions like teaching institutions to make sure that we pattern with other institutions outside so that we harness this great resource that God has given us. There is so much untapped potential in Uganda as far as herbal medicines are concerned. But we have left to some names, you know, someone came from Tanzania, Mtula Bongo, and all of a sudden is even a doctor. You see, these days everyone is a doctor. It is really sad. So, the authority in the field of pharmacy and pharmaceuticals, you must not allow really our industry to go down to that level. It is up to you. Don't you know some characters on the radio that call themselves doctors? Everything. One medicine is treating 100 conditions. And you have allowed yourself to be lowered to the level of this group. Because we have not exerted ourselves to make sure that this industry thrives, but also maybe even we help those people because maybe they are utilizing the gaps. They are the ones that know how to market themselves. They will be always on radios, everywhere, and on TVs, misinforming the public in our work, just right while we are watching. So, that is something I am leaving you as a challenge, And you need to commit, since you are all seated in this room, and you take lead in this field. Unfortunately, in the Ministry of Health, we've been really trying to advocate for resources for research, to support that kind of research, but we have not succeeded. But I do believe that, like through the academia, we can actually make inroads. We can make inroads, we can link you with institutions outside, and we start collaborating so that we are able to revive this industry. The law is there. We want you to come in and support us. Also, maybe you'll nominate some members to sit on the committee to discuss the regulations, because we've not finished the regulations. And we need your input in the natural medicines, because the act is there, but we need proper regulations to operationalize that act. Number 3, the issue of industrial pharmacists. Today I heard that we have industrial pharmacists. Can I meet you? Industrial pharmacists, can I meet you on Monday if it is possible? Industrial pharmacists, through your we have got a lot of potential. I think the country is receiving more and more investors that are coming to set up pharmaceutical industries, although at a low scale. But also right now, we are supposed to quick orientation in Korea in the vaccine development. And I will need to get your nomination, actually, if it's possible, by end of today. It will help me to submit your papers, and then they will guide us how many people they want to take. But this can be continuous engagement. Whenever there is opportunity, that's why I'm saying that our doors really are open. But you know, sometimes when a parent is old and the child does not even check, what happens? The old woman just stays in the house and does not. It is up to you. It is up to you to look for us. Because the opportunities can arise, but if I know that, oh, someone is here, I have even the name readily available, it is possible, but you keep on, it's okay. If you abandon your parent, it's no problem, but the door is always open, up to the bedroom. So your parent is just her arms are always open for you. So we need at this time to really, and I like what you are talking about in your strategic plan, to make sure that you diversify in key areas that are going to take us out of the poverty. You have the keys in your hands to contribute to our tenfold growth. Uganda has come up with a tenfold growth. That tenfold growth, one of the strategies is to increase manufacturing. But if we don't have the cadres that really can drive this, then we'll keep on getting expatriates from outside, and then they take our jobs here. Yet we have the technical people, but not well trained. So really, as we are striving to improve and diversify, look at biopharma. Biopharma in different areas. The vaccinology and other aspects of biopharma. Because that is the future. That's where we are going, and that is the future. It's not just clinical practice, clinical practice. I saw in your program you are talking about community pharmacy, community pharmacy. Okay, it is good. I'm not really, don't take me, don't say I'm looking down on community pharmacy, because I mean that's the common practice that we have. But we need to get out and pursue the courses that are going to put you at a pedestal to compete globally with other people. So this is a very, very, very incredible field that you need to take advantage of. The structure was expanded. We restructured. Our structure was approved. When the time came for recruitment, by the way, even we created the pharmacies even up to health center 4. Not just the general hospital, but even health center 4, we are supposed to have pharmacists. Because in our new structure, health center 4 is actually, we expanded the structure to, I think, of around 158 staff. So among those, we have the pharmacists. So the structure presents opportunity for you to get employed. Our hitch has been that we did not get the wage, both at central government and at local government. And so all those positions have remained vacant. But I want also to say that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Because we have had this discussion with Minister of Finance. Last week I had the opportunity to go with the head of public service and all permanent secretaries to the field. And the beauty about our field trip was that it focused on health. And everyone acknowledged that we are grossly understaffed. And the good thing is that my colleagues, every time we go to do budgeting, everyone is campering for a piece of cake. But they have really realized that this time around, the human resource must be at the center of prioritization as far as health is concerned. So we do believe that next year, we are likely to get more resources and we are likely to recruit more people. And so I do believe that also those positions that are not filled will be filled. And this is a promise that we are making, and we are committed to continuously lobbying for more resources to hire more staff. But as we are doing that, as we're increasing the number of staff to our facilities, we have also taken note with great concern that the supervision is very wanting. And I hope that when you are here, really, you talk to each other honestly. I was worried about, I was going to say, I opened the meeting officially. As we talk about what government should be doing, what we know, improvement in service delivery, the torch must come back to us. Because I have seen pharmacists in pharmacies of government that do not at all supervise. You go there, you find medicines management wanting, and yet they have a senior pharmacist in there. Medicines accountability, medicines management, the whole supply chain, stock card management, and everything is just in those big facilities. Even those big facilities where you find you have more pharmacists, They have even interns there. But you get there, even where we have digitalized, and I'm glad you are going to talk about digitalization. We must embrace digitization, because that's the only way we are going to improve efficiency. Let us put in more effort, even where sometimes you find even in some of our facilities, we lack so many things. But use your innovation as the head of pharmacy, as the head of supply chain in that institution, to make sure that we have a very good and efficient way of managing medicines. Be the example you want to see out there. Don't just talk and then you do other things. You're always in other private pharmacies, you are not there, you don't know what even those junior people are doing, and at the end of the day you are the head of pharmacy, and then the title, you know, let's really desist from that. We have launched an app, a self-care app, and we'll soon be able to popularize this amongst our health workers. We have taken note with concern the level of drug abuse among our medical workers. It is worrying, the rate at which people are abusing pethidine, the rate at which people are abusing other drugs is worrying. And so this self-help app is supposed to help people who, even people who don't seek care. We have people among us who are not well, but somehow they move with it. That self-app will help you to orient yourself in what you need to do, so that you make sure that your lives are secure. You can only be prosperous if you have good health. If you don't have good health, whatever you do, it will just slip through. So we will come back, but we want you to, on area of medicine, because that self-care, it has also so many components, but also it has the component of medicines. I know people want just to go and, you know, prescribe themselves, whatever, but this app wants to bring back the sanity that when you have this, please see the doctor, and the doctor will prescribe this medicine for you, and you must get it from a proper facility that the person who will give it to you must also be able to explain. We are silent. At the window, we just keep on dispensing medicine. We don't even tell people that this is the medicine, but it is likely to give you this. If it happens, please do this. Don't leave it to the doctor alone, because at the window it is you who gives these medicines. We cannot have an effective pharmacovigilance when the public we are treating does not know the likelihood of the side effects, because they are the ones that will come and report. But if they don't know, then how will we able to respond and manage the drug-related side effects? The schemes of service, please, let us receive your proposals. Whatever area you think that needs revision in your schemes of service, bring right to us and come, and we can invite you and come and present. And when you present, then we'll have the opportunity to internalize your proposals, and please also share your strategic plan. Now, assuming that I didn't come, because you know I was in a Gavi meeting, I had to jump out to come here. What if I didn't come? How would I have known that you have a strategic plan? Now I have come here, I've known. What about other members of the ministry? So don't talk to yourselves. All of you, you know each other, you know. Don't talk to yourself. The problem is that you talk to yourself too much. Don't talk to yourselves alone. Now I'm here, I've known about strategic plan. There are so many people in the ministry who are not here, who will not know what is in that strategic plan. So it's very important that whatever you do, let us get to know, because that's how we can work together to advance your objectives and your goals and your mission. The career path of the pharmacist. We want you to grow. We want you to grow. So we want to hear how you want this growth pathway you are creating for yourself. Because it is you to do that. No one else will do that. It is you who know better your profession, and it is you who know better the pathways to take not only just your profession, but the Ministry of Health, the country ahead. And ultimately, we are driving to tenfold. I want you to take this in your head. All of us, we are working towards achieving the tenfold growth of our country. Because all of us, we want to develop. How do we develop? We must create jobs. How do we create jobs? We must have more money to hire people. We must have more factories. We must be able to pay more taxes. So how do we do that? By giving you jobs in these good pharmaceutical industries. By you people coming up with molecules. You develop your APIs so that we are able to also to sell out. Why are we all the time we depend on other APIs? And also research and development. Who will do that? You can start even small, and then we come in and support. But we want you to take the lead. So now allow me just to conclude by saying I'm very happy to be here with you. I'm very happy to see you. You are our children, even if sometimes you kick and you do what, but you are stuck with us, and we are your parent by force, by policy, by law. So let's continue to work together to improve the service delivery. May God bless you, and we wish you a good deliberation, and allow me to open this annual CPD meeting officially. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. I think she deserves better than what we've just given her. Thank you so much, Honorable Permanent Secretary. Now, before you go, we would have wished for you to stay, because, you know, as children, when you have your parents around you... No. Would have wanted you to stay and listen to us, and, you know, as children, we breastfeed from our parents. So thank you for coming, and thank you for officially opening this event. We have listened, and yes, thank you for advising us, thank you for guiding us. And as children, we accept the guidance, and we look forward to coming to you and working closely with you. We are very pleased with the reaffirmation you have given us, that yes, we are still your beloved children. Thank you. I would like to give you a package before you leave. This package also has our strategic plan. We have other copies that we had planned to share with many stakeholders, and key of which is the Ministry of Health. So very soon, we'll be at your door. We'll be sharing the strategic plan and much more. Thank you. Honorable Permanent Secretary, kindly allow us have a photo moment with you. And we'll also invite some members to join us to have a photo moment with the Honorable Permanent Secretary. Thank you.
We are here, some members.
You see the ladies will think they are different from
So we'll have first the council members. The ones that are here can come forward. And the senior members, our senior members, Dr. Hussein, Oria. Yeah, so we'll take photos in shifts. Yeah, ma'am, thank you so much.
Hello, members. I've been entrusted with some power to carry on with the session. Let's have everyone just stand up straight as we prepare to hear again from Dr. Faizo. Sorry, Dr. Lule. Sorry about that. Just have a second to stretch and get back into pharmacy. Doctor, you ready? So we are going back to our session, and I think Doctor is ready.
from here. Okay. So by the time the PS came through, we were looking at areas where we are able to do some assessment of treatment outcomes versus medicines availability. And this particular one was looking at the stockouts of glibenclamide, a new drug that has been included onto the diabetes management, and the impact of these stockouts on the random blood sugar levels for the patients. And that's what it looks like. Now, Okay. So again, as we roll out into the other areas of our scope of work in our hospitals, the area of rational medicine's use becomes very, very important and pertinent. Now, by the time the PS left, I think this would have excited her because I think among the public facilities in Uganda, we are among the first progressors towards digitization. And I jumped onto this one very fast as a pharmacist, in part because it was solving a lot of problems for me regarding medicine's accountability, but then also rational medicine use became very, very pertinent. How does it become pertinent? With the manual prescribing, we were hardly able to control generic prescribing by most of the prescribers. But right now, the system gives us the rights to clean up the entire catalog of medicines in the system so we can be able to actually have prescriptions generated generically. Now, what does that mean? Again, the marketing team in the house, I'm sure this is not a good one for you, but I think for me it comes from the angle of access of medicines, because every time we have brands prescribed, it's limiting medicines access, because if your brand is not in a particular area, for a facility like ours that is attracting a lot of patients from all over the country, you most likely might affect treatment outcomes. So that's why I think for me, generic prescribing becomes very, very important. And again, you will see this in our antimicrobial stewardship. It's a very, very pertinent area for us. But then also, we've been able to assess prescribing trends by our doctors. One item that excited me and interested me was dapagliflozin. Dapagliflozin is relatively a new drug. The renal team actually has more interest in dapagliflozin than the diabetic team, though they both need it. But because of its price and our budgeting shortfalls, we thought it fit that actually the renal team has patients on it and not everyone else. Dapagliflozin delays dialysis for most of the patients with renal challenges. So that means if we bring it onto our catalog of medicines, remember, we're driving down the cost of care, we're reducing mortality, and such things actually have to come in, trying to improve our medicines catalog. So when we brought it in, I think we had up until around 500 packets that we thought could take us for over 3 months. But we realized actually in less than 2 weeks, the drug was out. Now, when we assess the system, again, that's why I say the electronic system, digitization is very important. When we assess the system, we could see who's prescribing it. And actually, out of the 500 packets, one of the doctors had prescribed over 230 packets of the 500, only one doctor. And the follow-up, actually, we realized, again, the team actually, whose brand we had in the hospital, was engaging this doctor. Now, why do I bring out this? Because that showed us that actually there's a CME we're supposed to hold for these guys, to show them that actually, in as much as most of the patients might need DAPA, all of them cannot get it for now with the kind of budget we have. So again, rational medicine's use and the role of EMR becomes very, very pertinent in this regard. What are we doing with the ward rounds to enhance rational medicine's use? The system is beautiful enough that if we are holding pharmaceutical-related rounds where maybe some doctors are not available, we're able to send them messages onto their accounts. As soon as they log on to their next session, the message can, until they interpret and read the message, they're not allowed to log in. So that's why, again, for me, EMR becomes very important, because now we can be able to chat on treatment outcomes, on treatment options that we have in the hospital. We can adjust doses of the patients depending on the guidance that we've been able to gather from within the rounds. Rational medicine use, again, the medicine and therapeutics committees have become very, very pertinent and important. I know most of the people who are living in hospitals and working in there, and also NMS. NMS has been very, very solid on this particular one. They've helped us build capacity in this area of medicine and therapeutics committees. These are committees that are driving policies such as institutional guidelines, especially, for instance, AMR. The budget allocation, again, this committee reviews what we are allocating to what unit. That's very important, because you might end up misusing your monies. But then also, they drive the agenda of medicines use audits in so many ways. What is our scope of patient care? Again, as we practice within our hospitals. Medicines choices. We are able to tell and guide on cost-benefit analysis, the drugs that are on the market, the patients will be able to access, adverse events, those adjustments guided by the organ function. This is very important for our dialysis patients. And I think this is where we've been collaborating with most of the clinical, the guys who have mastered in clinical pharmacy to help us in adjustment of doses vis-a-vis the organ function, especially the renal functions and the LFTs. Treatment outcomes, I come back to lab and how important lab is in your practice as a pharmacist. I keep emphasizing that actually, until recently, I didn't understand the role of lab. But right now, if you ask me drugs versus lab supplies, I'll tell you frankly, let's have the lab supplies to do that diagnosis, the right diagnosis, to do the electrolytes and adjust doses, do the LFTs, RFTs. Then, if you don't have the medicine, at least the patient will buy the right medicine. I have no reason having the right medicine when actually the patient is having the wrong diagnosis. So, for me, it has become very pertinent and very important that labs have to be really given the upper hand in so many ways. Then, drug adherence is very pertinent. Of course, this has been seen in a lot of HIV patterns and protocols. Missed doses, because of the staffing gaps that have been highlighted by management earlier while they're opening up, we've seen a lot of missed doses in most of our patients, especially on ward. And that is where now our ward rounds come in, the pharmaceutical ward rounds, to be able to actually pick up on these patients and see whose treatment outcomes are not changing, whose clinical picture is not changing. That is still, we still grapple with it because largely it's coming from staffing gaps. We would love to have drugs that actually are given once daily or perhaps twice daily, but because the drugs that are given 3 times daily are cheaper and we don't have as much money, so we're coming up with innovations in that area to be able to make sure that actually drug administration is very, very key and pertinent. Guys, I bring you onto the area of antimicrobial stewardship again, like as highlighted by the PS. This is a very, very important area for us and it's very, very pertinent in my working area. The prescription again on your left, the guys who are far away, has meropenem. If you're not able to pick up on the dates, this prescription was running for almost 3 months. Meropenem. But then, it is telling you so much about it. First of all, if it was for 3, you can tell there were missed doses. Definitely there were missed doses because this is a treatment chart that we're able to pick up and you could tell that patients at some point in time were not getting these drugs. But then it begs the question of where is the nurse in all this who's administering? What is happening to this patient? The doctor who's doing that ward round, why aren't you following up on this patient? But then also, most importantly, the pharmacist, where are we? How are you giving all this meropenem to just one patient for all this period and actually it's not causing chaos, or in your mind you're not trying to think there's a problem? So that is why antimicrobial stewardship in our settings is very, very important. Again, I go back to the culture and sensitivity supplies. Lab is coming back again. We've been able to work with lab and partners through Global Fund and then NMS to be able to make sure that we have. Fleming Fund has also been helpful. Currently, culture bottles have been a problem, but we are working with them to make sure we have culture bottles. The turnaround time has been a problem that has affected uptake of utilization of culture results. Again, we are brainstorming with the lab team to be sure that as soon as results are available, we are picking them and we are making treatment outcomes better by making sure we have directed treatment for the patients. We have an AMS committee in the hospital that has been able to guide us into designing our local guideline. This local empirical guideline is very important for you, especially if you don't have an antibiogram. Why is it important? Cultures, especially blood cultures, take over 7 days for you to have a result. In 3 days, you can have a working result of growth, positive gram, negative gram, positive. However, it is not very conclusive. So that's why we need to have an empirical guideline, just to guide us on what medicines we can be able to use on suspect organisms as we wait for the lab results. Once the results are back, we are able to actually either de-escalate or stay the treatment. It's the same committee that is also guiding us on CMEs and also the antibiogram. We are currently in the phase of updating the antibiogram of the hospital. So again, we are working with them. The MS ward rounds, guys, if you're in a hospital that admits patients, find reason to visit these patients. See what, especially if you can use the clinical picture. The lab picture, if you can use a CBC, that is very good. If you can use, the clinical picture is more available. You can see the temperatures are reducing, the pulse rate is coming back to normal, the heart rate is coming back to normal. So those are the things they're going to be picking up on the ward rounds as we are waiting for the lab results that might take quite some time. There are surveys we are doing, and one of them is the point prevalence survey. This is a result of a point prevalence survey in the hospital. It is giving us an insight on how we are using medicines in the hospital. It gives you an insight of how you prescribing generic versus brands, insights on utilization of culture and sensitivity, the percentages of antibiotics that are being used, the aware classification, if you know that. It's also very important that you assess utilization of medicine in that area. And then things to do with percentage of patients who have encountered injectable antibiotics. Some of the areas we're not supposed to be having injectable antibiotics, especially OPD areas. So it also assesses that area. And this gives you areas of improvement. Currently, we are working on the area of utilization of guidelines. This particular survey showed that actually our guideline utilization was at 48.5%. That is quite sick. What that means is actually that we are not using, if it's a sepsis, we are wrongly managing it. The guidelines on how to manage sepsis. So in that area, we're able to pick up areas in which we are supposed to improve patient care. Guys, beyond antimicrobial stewardship, there is drug safety. The NDA team, if it's in the house, I'm sure they will be happy with this particular picture. We are doing, and we are going big on drug safety and pharmacovigilance in the hospital. What are we doing? Again, the picture on your left. Believe me, you or me, the picture you're seeing is a patient who reacted on ceftriaxone. Yeah? Now, because I told you we have a Burns patient, the only ward this patient qualifies to go to is a Burns patient, because the entire presentation of the patient is like a burn. This is ceftriaxone to this particular patient. And if you're not excited enough about monitoring drug safety in your patients, I want to be sure this particular picture excites you. So we're doing a lot of work on commodities, such as HIV, TB, vaccines, very, very important in that area. So much that we are glad, NDA, I don't know whether you're in the house, we have now a new VG mobile app that can help us actually submit our reports faster than the VG flow and the previous hard copies we used to submit to the to NDA. Active patient monitoring is very critical because some of these patients are not going to get back to you regarding their adverse events. So you want to be sure you can follow up on them and maybe also give them medication before you give them most of these medicines. Again, case management, we come back with our role. How do you change your treatment? Which patient gets what treatment? How do we monitor? Some of these adverse events, you stop the drug and conservatively manage the patients to make sure they pull out. Especially the HIV patients, you may not do so much in trying to change their regimen because sometimes actually they are caught up. So you either work with dose reduction or maybe where you have alternatives, change the drug entirely. Guys, we also have areas of capacity building. This is where our interns come in. I don't know whether the Pharmaceutical Society president is here and the team. We are doing a lot of work with interns. And I think we should come up with an innovation to make sure we reward. We have marks scored against the internship. It makes me sad for a person who was actually quite good during the internship and they cannot get an extra 3-4 marks if they got a 46 in their pre-registration exam, but actually they were quite excellent during the internship. We want to talk to the society. I don't know whether VC you're here. We want to make sure there are some marks that are coming from internship. So guys give it as much attention as it deserves. Again, in this particular picture of capacity building, on your extreme left, there's a picture of us, because we're building capacity in pharmacovigilance. One of the exciting opportunities we got was building capacity of community health teams. The community health teams, sorry, I'm going to wrap up. This particular session actually was held in Uganda. That's what excited us about it, because we wanted to make sure, these are the guys that are helping us offset signal detection in the communities where we are not. So it's very important that actually we bring them on board to understand that safety of drugs is important, and actually they can give us some insights to that regard. Then also in the middle of that, we have a picture of us trying to build capacity in the cleaners of the hospital. In as far as IPC is concerned, that is infection prevention and control. Before patients get medicines, we want to make sure we reduce infection in the hospital so we don't have medicines entirely. It is a struggle because you'll find, I know you may not have data, but some of the patients actually that are coming to our hospitals are dying of hospital-acquired infections. Now, if patients knew this, actually, they can frankly sue us outrightly. The innovations that are going to again boost our care in the hospital. You remember in our point privilege survey, we had challenges of using the guideline. We've developed, it's not yet final, but we are developing the QR code, so you can be able to pick up reference material from your QR code by just scanning it. Also, because we have digitalization going on, our computers have been uploaded with most of these reference materials. We are very passionate about IPC to reduce infection prevention and control. Because of stockouts we had seen with alcohol utilization and hand sanitizer in the hospital, we are locally again putting ourselves into making sure we have production of pocket-size hand sanitizer in our hospital. We are looking at new innovations in enhancing medicines access in school-going children and also reducing turnaround time. You remember that dispensing we need some support in this area. Some of us are good, some of us are not as good, but we need support in grants writing. We need support in proposal writing and in those areas, so we can be able to share information that we have in our hospitals. Currently, the ongoing researches we have in the hospital is adverse event monitoring in vaccine use, reducing hospital-acquired infections, and then also utilization of culture and sensitivity results. The things we are writing in those areas. Then to come, we're looking at HbA1c follow-up. We feel that random sugar test you're taking is not good enough. We believe HbA1c will give us a better picture of how our patients are faring, and we are following up on those. Injections. At some point in time. I say thank you to our partners for the journey we are moving and perhaps the steps.
I would like to just remind presenters, please, we have about just 5-10 minutes maximum to present. And then also the moderators, please, let's run through the presentations as you get the questions ready online and also in the room so that we can save time. We're already past 1 and I think lunch should be ready anytime soon. So moderators, get your questions ready as we get the next presenters, and then you'll moderate the question sessions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Falisi, for the presentation. It has been a very good one. Though the time was so short, you tried to elaborate what clinical pharmacy is all about in the hospital. So we are welcoming questions. I think we should only take 2 questions. The first 2 questions. I want to see some hands. Those who have questions for Dr. Falisi? Do you have questions about his presentation? So, the online group, do you have questions online or some comments that we can read? There's a question here. Where is the mic? Oh, you have one.
Yes. So, just as people prepare to ask, so Dr. Falisi, just one question. You talked about access to medicines. Have you tried to assess and have some data about the locally accessed medicines at the hospital? We need that data because we are here saying, oh, donate, give us medicine. What about in the setting you're in? Are patients actually accessing the ones we already have before we ask for more? Thank you.
Any other questions? Is there a question online for Dr. Falisi? Maybe to add on what she has asked, Dr. Falisi, kindly elaborate how you do it, given the number of pharmacists that you have in Ichirudu, fully employed. How do you really carry out all these roles as you have elaborated? Maybe as we wait for more questions.
Okay, hello. Yeah, thank you so much. Again, I hope you hear me. Local access, yeah. The third slide, I think, was largely talking about medicines access and the protocols we are having. One of the things I wanted to highlight is we've been able to actually build up onto the existing pharmacies at the hospital. We're currently having 2 24-hour facilities at the hospital. What does that mean? That even after 5 or perhaps over the weekend, the patient can actually access the medicines that we do have. But then also, I remember before the electronic system came in, patients don't usually actually believe we have medicines in the hospital. So as soon as the treatment chart has been written, they walk to the pharmacies. But now, because the system can tell you which drugs are in the hospital, we're able to actually have most of these patients get their medicines, because the prescription they need to go outside to buy medicines is printed from the pharmacy point. So definitely, we're not missing out on any of the patients getting the medicines that we have in the hospital. How are we able to do this without... Our hospital is not a very unique one compared to the other hospitals. We are sitting at 37% staffing. That means we have a gap of over 63, I think, percent. This is where I had a plea with interns, because I think I'm stressing my interns a lot. I know the interns I've worked with find me a challenge, because I know we have to deliver most of these things. And I've found them a very useful workforce to be able to help me deliver some of these things. The production of hand sanitizer you're seeing, I don't know whether Dr. Mugera is in the house, but we're able to actually jumpstart this particular production with him. The PPS surveys that you're seeing that we are doing, it's the interns that are doing these things. So amidst the grappling challenges we have of staffing, work has to be done, and we work with the resources that we have as we wait for new postings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Falisi. There is a question from the online group. The rest I see are comments. A question from Diana Winifred. How are we going to synchronize the clinical pharmacy practice and all the roles plus the actual clinicians? Won't it be a conflict of interest? I think it's all about differentiating the roles of a clinical pharmacist from the roles of the prescribers or the doctors or clinicians.
Okay, maybe to slightly comment on that. And again, it's not only just the clinical pharmacists. As pharmacists, I think we have low self-esteem with these guys when we get on ward. Actually, we know so much. You know the drugs, the brands, you know the ones that are in the hospital, you know what is going to do what. But because usually in the first 2 weeks of my interns being posted, they chicken to be on the ward by themselves. They say, doctor, you have to come with us, you have to come with us. But you know why they want me to come with them? Because they want me to take the bullets for them when the guy is asking them questions. But mine is make sure you understand the word you're going for. Understand, is it a sickle cell round? What are the presentations of sickle cell? How is it managed? What are the treatment outcomes? Which labs do we do? At what point do we transfuse? So you go equipped. Now, when you go in and you contribute to the whole discussion of patient care, the patients right now, I think they cannot see without me because we built that kind of capacity in the system to be able to know that actually a pharmacist has to be part of this decision. Currently, there's a patient I think we are following up who is a TB patient, but they reacted to isoniazid and pyrazinamide, and then we are limited on choices on what to give them because they're just starting their TB treatment. But because, again, the physician, the pulmonologist is there, the pharmacist is there because right now we are using injectable molecules that are coming in. So you guide on what choices they have to be making. How can they reduce the doses? And perhaps where can they get these medicines? Because it's one thing for sure to prescribe these medicines, but then also getting them on the market is another. Even if you don't contribute to the clinical input, at least contribute to where these medicines are going to be found. So when we prescribe them, actually the patient can be able to buy them at a cost that is friendly. So we just have to make sure we pick up ourselves, indulge ourselves, because I've seen once we have rounds where we are all engaged, especially with the AMS rounds, because the AMS rounds usually we have clinicians, the lab team, and then also the pharmacists. You see the outcomes we have from those meetings and the decisions and the conclusions we make. So we just have to come along. Our roles are well spelled out. We just need to know that actually we all need each other, come along for the sake of patient care and treatment outcome, better treatment outcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Falisi. I think he has said it all. The roles of pharmacists are quite clear and very different from the roles of prescribers. What I usually encourage my pharmacists, those who have practiced from where I work from, I usually tell them, you have all that it takes to stand before these other professionals and give in an input that will leave you or will leave the rest of the members knowing that you know what you're doing. Practice what you learned and people will respect you. There's a lot a pharmacist can do in the hospital. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dr. Shauna.
Thank you so much for that presentation, Dr. Falisi, and thank you for moderating very powerfully, Dr. Ann. A food for thought for Dr. Falisi. Actually, I have a bone to pick with you. We had some interns from Chirudo, and they were talking about how they were confined only at the pharmacy and dispensing. So I think maybe try to allow these youngsters to go and explore. Yes, they need you, just sacrifice. Be the guinea pig because you're the lead there. Secondly, food for thought for you, doctor. If you're in position, try to get them retained. If they are good ones who are really helping and bringing up, adding value, there is a route to take for government hospitals where pharmacists can be retained on contracts. It has something to do with the ED, finance, and a lot of things. Interest yourself with that and try to get these youngsters to also have a stable earning and in an environment where they can become as great as you are. Thank you. So the next session will be moderated by Dr. Charles Kabugo, and the presenter is Dr. Davis Walusimbi. You're welcome. Please, just 10 minutes. Thank you. As Dr. Walusimbi is coming, I have something very interesting to say about this session. I have been following up on AMA for the longest time. Midway my communication, I've been asked to make sure that the moderators are bang on about time. So as I was saying, I've been looking towards AMA, and I'm very happy to know that we have a presentation about it. So Dr. Charles Kabugo. you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my great pleasure to welcome you today, and our focus about this kind of session is positioning ourselves for African medicine agents and College of African Regulatory Service professional, leading to opportunities for pharmacists. And by that, I would like to invite Dr. David Warusimbi, who is a pharmacist and global health professional with extensive experience in medicine regulation, academia, health policy, and clinical trials. He is currently served as a project officer at the African Union Development Agency, NEPAD, where he provides technical support to regional economic communities and national regulatory authorities in advancing medicine regulatory harmonization and strengthening institutional development across Africa. Previously, Dr. David worked with the National Drug Authority for over 7 years, where he played a central duty in medicine regulation, particularly in vaccine safety, pharmacovigilance in medicines, and clinical trials. He also worked with Management Science for Health, seconded to the Ministry of Health Uganda. And he has a bachelor's degree from Makerere University, and also a Master's of Science in Global Health from Trinity College, Durban. He's also an Island Africa Fellow and recipient of Kevin Award from Trinity Center of Global Health. So allow me to invite Dr. David to give us his great presentation. He will be presenting via online module. I think he's now ready.
Am I audible enough? I didn't get any feedback. Anyway, I want to rush through this presentation for purposes of time and for purposes of earlier commitments made. So my name is David Walusimbi, and I'm currently working as a program officer with the African Union Development Agency, NEPAD. And we're part of the team that are driving the establishment of AMA and the College of African Regulatory Science Professionals. So the African Union has had several.
So as we wait for Dr. Walusimbi, hello, Dr. Walusimbi. As we wait for Dr. Walusimbi, I was still telling you that the African Medicine Agency has been having online summits. They've been talking about how to get this agency working. I don't know if there are individuals in the room who have been following meticulously like I've been. It's something to interest yourself with. He's going to speak more about it. Hello, Dr. Walusimbi. MPS, we have noted that. However, in the room, we can't hear him. Dr. Walusimbi. Dr. Walusimbi, unfortunately, we would like to have you come after the next presenter on this session. We have a glitch and it's affecting the audio this side, so we are unable to get you. As we have that fixed under the supervision of Dr. Charles Kabugo, we shall have Dr. Faizo Bukenya come in to moderate the last session, which is about transforming community pharmacy, unlocking opportunities in pharmacy care and prevention. The presenter is Miss Victoria Ruta, the Chief Executive Officer, Commonwealth Pharmacists Association, and she doubles as the Chair, Commonwealth Health Profession and Partner Alliance. Thank you. Dr. Bukenya, be kindly reminded that your presenter should just be given 10 minutes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, pharmacists. Are we okay? Are we good? Please speak to me. We're supposed to be good. It's a noble profession. Good afternoon, pharmacists. Still not being. Good afternoon, pharmacists. I'm so grateful, delighted, and astonished to be in this place with you. As we are getting this done, this one is a unique session. It's a unique session, and our topic is going to be transforming community pharmacy, unlocking opportunities in primary care and prevention. And to take us through will be Mrs. Victoria Rata. Mrs. Victoria has an extensive profile. Her sedular work ethic is widely recognized at global level. She is the current CEO, Commonwealth Pharmacists Association. She's the current chairperson, Commonwealth Health Professions and Partner Alliance. And she's a qualified pharmacist and a tenuous leader. She's currently not around, but we have a video that is going to be aired. I think it's being worked on. But standing in for her physically, we have an ineffable leader, Mrs. Maxia Navirio. Max is a public health practitioner. Max is a public health practitioner with extensive international experience in advancing global health and well-being. Come and join me, please, as you're coming. Max has pioneered and managed an impactful health interventions in more than 20 countries, collaborating with diverse partners in UK Department of Health and Social Care, Macquarie University, and UNFPA. Thanks for joining us. So she's standing on behalf of Mrs. Victoria Rata. Are you ready? Okay. As we're getting ready, Dr. Noor, as we're getting ready, let's get this done with. Mrs. Victoria has a gift, I think, for PSU, so she can humbly hand it over.
Greetings, everyone. I bring you greetings from the Commonwealth Pharmacists Association, which is a home for pharmacists at Commonwealth level. We work so collaboratively. My CEO was meant to be here, but for one reason or the other, she couldn't make it in country. But I'm here to represent her, but she also made a recording. But she has sent me to offer a gift of appreciation to the work you do as pharmacists in Uganda. And what she's offering, or what we are offering as the Commonwealth Pharmacists Association, CPA, is actually a product that pharmacists across 8 countries in Africa have contributed to, including Uganda. We've heard since morning that, we've been hearing since morning that MR is a big issue. And as pharmacists, we have a key role in this fight. So pharmacists across 8 countries, with Uganda among the leaders, came together to develop an innovative antimicrobial stewardship game that can facilitate trainings about AMR, that can get healthcare professions to learn more about how to ensure antimicrobial stewardship, good IPC practices, and it's not just for pharmacists, but also other healthcare professionals. So as pharmacists, we have a key role even in influencing others. We develop tools that can support others because we are medicine experts and we know what should be done. And so we have the right and authority to develop the right tools. So I'll hand over this MS body game just as a sign to show us that as pharmacists, we need to get more creative. We need to get more innovative, like the PS has been saying, to develop more and influence other healthcare teams and even impact our communities. Thank you so much. I've been reminded to reiterate my name. My name is Maxentia Navirio, and I'm the head of programs at the Commonwealth Pharmacists Association. For short, in case you forget the name, it is Max. Thank you.